and welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How's your day?
How's your week?
How is your life?
Going.
So let's talk about life.
Yeah. Well, first of all, before we started the podcast, I thought you were just going to be... I thought you were going to be... I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no. Well, and I don't know why. I think I know why. I mean, because us women, we go through this monthly thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that it's sneaking up because I'm just feeling very tired, fatigued. And I mean, I had a great workout this morning. And a lot of times when I work out, my energy is even more so. So watch out, because you think I wanted sex before. You know how I get once I am like more active and in shape and how I feel. I'm just going to be
I'm good.
All up on you. So be ready for it, because I already feel it coming.
Should I just leave it out?
But
anyway,
no, we were yesterday. So we just hit our 12th anniversary. Yay. Happy anniversary. And I've been saying that we've been married for 12 years.
No, for 13 years.
Or 13 years. 13 years.
For 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
And so it's actually 12 years.
We just completed 12 years on Tuesday.
Yes.
Last Tuesday.
And
so July 21st.
Yeah.
For those of you that are listening, 10 years from now.
So what happened? I mean, did you really?
Yeah, I knew. Yes, I knew.
No, see, dude, you're going to take this to your grave, aren't you?
Yes.
You fucker.
I knew. Or maybe I didn't, and I was like, oh, shit. It's our... No, I knew.
When did you realize?
Earlier in the month. Or earlier... Yeah, it was like a couple weeks before. I was like, oh, shit. It's July.
Oh, well, yeah, but the day of, you remembered?
Well, I kind of remembered a couple weeks before, and then it just kind of...
You didn't remember. You're going around the question.
No, what I'm saying is that I remembered a couple weeks before, but because I knew our anniversary was coming, like, it just kind of stayed around in the front of my head. So on the 21st, I was like, yeah, today's our anniversary.
Oh, well, see, I knew our anniversary was coming up, but because of all the stress and everything that's been happening... I totally forgot. And what's so ridiculous is that I don't know how many times I wrote the date down that day, because of what I do for a living. And I just completely forgot. Like, what woman forgets about her anniversary? Usually it's the other way around, right? The men are like, so I come home and I have these beautiful, I'm walking in and I see these beautiful flowers and I'm like, it still didn't click.
And I'm like balls deep under the sink, replacing the freaking sink and cooking fucking, making... I was making burgers and doing the sink at the same time.
Oh, yeah. So, and then my little boy, Joey's like, or our little boy, he's like, happy anniversary. And I'm like,
oh, shit.
What? Oh, I'm like, are you kidding me? And I was writing, I don't know. I was just, there's just been a lot of shit going on. Come on, everybody.
No, I thought about it on the day of our anniversary. But I didn't give you shit about it.
You didn't, but you didn't.
I was just like, I have a feeling she forgot.
Isn't that
but
crazy?
I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's, well, I don't know. Well, you know what I do know is I know that you wouldn't really give me a hard time. Like, you would have gave me a little bit of a hard time, kind of like I gave you.
Yeah.
But nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But there are some people, because the thing is that if you don't remember our anniversary, it's not like you love me less because of the fucking one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't really make a difference.
Right.
So we'll celebrate another time.
Right.
And we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did. We've been celebrating. Yeah. We're good at that. And we're gonna keep celebrating.
Right? And we don't need anybody else. It's just like our little family. We can celebrate it and have a really good time. And I think that's another thing that just makes us work, because Miguel and I, we've talked about this before. Like, we can go out dancing, just you and I.
Yeah.
And have a blast. Like, have the best time ever where we're coming home drunk or heads are bouncing off the backboard.
Yes, that's happened.
And it wasn't him.
Yep.
And we weren't doing what you thought we were doing. No, Miguel thought he was. What do you mean
it wasn't him?
Well, it wasn't you that hit your head on the backboard.
Oh, I dropped you.
He dropped me. Okay, no, we weren't making love.
Okay. So this okay, let me tell this story because this happened with one of Sonja's classic shit talking episodes where she wants to talk shit. Like,
what do you mean?
Okay, so we went to a bar, and Sonja was like, "Oh, I could fucking drink and I could take," and you were talking shit about me because you like doing that. And dude, I'm like, and
everybody,
listen, Linda.
Know me.
Listen,
it's not just you, baby.
Listen, Linda. I was in the military, and for people that are out there, and I was a mechanic in the military, which kind of, if there was a degree for drinking, that you would get it. If you were like in a big college or if you were in the military, like we drank.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, you. Like pretty much calling me a pussy. You're like,
no, that's not what it was.
I can hang. No, because
I wasn't feeling the shots. It was kamikaze that we were drinking.
No, but first you started. That's how it got out of hand. Because first you started talking shit, and then I was like, all right, then let's get some shots. Or you maybe suggested shots.
And no, shot,
no, you don't remember because you were hammered. So listen, this is what happened. We started. I think either you suggested shots or maybe I was a dick and I suggested shots, but we started drinking shots. But at a certain, the truth, what really, like you said, what happened was that you weren't feeling the shots at first.
Yeah.
And then they fucking hit you like a baseball bat. Like you were just all of a sudden like, ha ha ha, you know, like what the. So the thing is that when you went from sober to like hammered, there was another round of shots coming already. So when I looked at you and I was like, oh shit, like she cannot drink this other shot. So the DJ was a friend of yours, somebody that you knew. So, and then anytime that we would go to this bar, we would say hi and, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went and I grabbed that shot and I went over to the DJ. I told you, I was like, look, stay here, don't move. And I went to the I went to the DJ booth and I gave it to him. And I'm like, hey, next time we come back, you got to remember this and give Sonja all kinds of shit because she was, you know her. She was talking all kinds of shit about how you can't fucking hang and you're a pussy and this and that.
You're lying. I don't call you a pussy.
No, you haven't. But you didn't have to because the way you were talking was pretty much saying it. But yeah, so you were just trashed. And then we ended up going home. And when we got to the bedroom, I was just trying to lay you in the bed, but I didn't realize that I had sat you too close to the headboard, and you were so hammered that you just fell back like a sack of potatoes and bam, just slammed your head off of the backboard.
So when I woke up the following morning, I was like, do we have rough sex or what happened? I said, my head hurts.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, about that.
But we always we have a really good time when we go out. As a matter of fact, I was just telling him yesterday
that you want to go dancing.
I want to go dancing because that's something that I miss. You know, is dancing and just having a good time and just
Actually, we have the best. Like some of the best times are when it's just you and me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when we go out and we have a good time and it's just you and me.
Yeah. So I forgot how we got on that. Anyway,
because we've been celebrating.
Oh yeah. So yeah. And so I found this station, 90s station.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, music is amazing. What it can do and where it can take you.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
And I've been, right? You're like, ugh.
No, it always does.
And so I've just been jamming out to 90s and it takes me back to just, my party days.
Yeah.
And it takes you, and it's almost like you can remember the atmosphere, the
smell. It takes you right back to it.
The exact spot where you were when you heard the song for the very first time, or it's just crazy how it can do that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying my 90s and getting down. And
yeah. So when I was in the military, speaking of the military, I got put on night shift for a while. And, when you, late at night on the radio stations, like they turn it from, like if you're listening to the hip hop station or whatever, they'll go from, the current new hip hop to like R&B at night. Like they kind of slow it down.
Yeah.
So we would be working at night, and like I said, it's mechanics. So we used to joke around when we were working like at 1:00 in the morning, and the songs would come and be like, "Ooh, that's my jam." We used to call it "Make Love to Your Bitch Hour" at night. But yeah, me and one of my friends, Ryan. And every once in a while, like a song would come on, and you would hear one of us, "Ooh, that's my jam."
That's been me these days, huh?
No,
that's been me.
And then we're like, "Ooh, somebody's about to get pregnant." That's what we used to say. We used to tell each other.
Is that what you mumbled under your breath when I was listening to my music in the car?
No, when we were out there, I was like, "You trying to get pregnant?"
I thought I heard you say something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I was so into the song.
I was like, "Why do you
I was like, did he just say it? I don't know. And then I started singing it.
I'm just saying, it's like one love song after another. I was like, are you trying to get pregnant? What's going on here?
Well,
no.
Yeah, sure. You want to try?
We could try.
Anyways, so, it's been a tough week. It's been
yeah. I don't know about you, but no, I just wanted to mention something before we got too much farther. I wanted to apologize about last week because I said something that I shouldn't have said. Like, I mean, we were just kind of talking. We got into it, and I said something that wasn't true. When we were talking about the business and how I told you, that you would go out with your tits out and shit like that, and that wasn't true. It was only one time that I said something. It's not like you used to dress like that all the time. I think maybe one time
that I had some cleavage
that
showing.
You had some cleavage showing. Your tits,
but my tits were not out.
It was just. Yeah, maybe more cleavage than, and it's not, like I said, like I'm not a jealous person, but I just thought that for a business presentation or for a meeting, because also what was happening was you were having a lot of trouble with guys in the business because you would be talking business to them and they would be thinking that you're, like, hey, so you're explaining, the compensation, the money and the stuff. And they're like, so you want to meet up for lunch? And you're like, well, I mean, we're trying to talk business here. We're not trying to go out for lunch or on a date or whatever. Like, this is business. So you were having some issues with guys. And, I saw that and I said something, but that was the only time that it ever happened. I was just like, hey, let's, you're going to go to a meeting or a presentation like that. And then you went and changed. But it was only that one time. No? Is that not what it was?
I don't know. I guess. I mean, I don't really.
Do you remember having issues with like talking about
with guys,
that?
Yeah, yes. But I'm friendly.
Yeah,
I mean, I could be wearing a turtleneck, and because of my personality, guys think that I'm coming on to them because I'm friendly.
No, you are very friendly.
It's not because my tits are always hanging out, because I dress professionally.
What I'm saying is that when you want to get somebody to take you strictly business. Like, no, I'm not trying to go out on a date with you. I'm not.
Yeah. So there was a time,
and it was just that one instance that I said something, but on the last podcast, I said that, like, I made it seem like it would happen
like
more
I dress
often,
like that
like
all
you
the time.
did that all the time, and it was just that one time.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for that.
Well,
because you are very professional, and that's something that you are known for. You're known for being a very professional person, even though like you're friendly, which there's nothing wrong with that. You're friendly. And you have a great personality, but you are very professional when it comes to whatever you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Love you, babe.
Love you too. So our neighbor started listening to our podcast, and the episode where we were actually
arguing.
Like, we've never got into it, I think, that deep. And we have, maybe, but not. It wasn't like. You were super pissed, and she was like, wait a minute. Are they really? She's like, are you guys acting? She sent me a text message.
Really?
She's like, are you guys? She's like, I am in my break. I'm on my break in my break room laughing my ass off.
But I don't know if you're serious.
She's like, are you guys acting? Yeah. Or is Miguel like really pissed? Because she's like, Miguel is pissed. And I'm like, no, he's pissed. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I had to share it with my husband and say, hey, what do you think? Is this real? And he's like,
he's like, yeah, that's real.
Yeah. He told her, no, he's really pissed.
That's funny. Actually, somebody, who was I? I was talking to somebody earlier in the week, and they were like, you know what, it's kind of cool, like you guys argue, but then we just like move on. Yeah. I mean, we weren't. Yeah,
afterwards we weren't. We upset. We talked about it.
Yeah, we also realized that this is a show, so we don't want to argue for freaking an hour straight. So we started with the argument and ended with an argument, and we'll leave it at that. But no. So one other thing is that last week when we were talking, we were arguing first about me shaving, and that we still haven't resolved, and that's going to be a tougher one.
It's not just about shaving. That was just a little.
Let's not get into that. But that's not resolved. But we did also. We were talking about the jiu-jitsu and all of that, and that one we talked about it and we've solved it. And I did say that it wasn't right for me not to call. Like especially if you're making dinner and you're expecting me home, it's just hey, a call and like, hey, is it cool if I get a roll in? No, dinner's already ready. Okay, well I'll roll next time. But I did say that last time. And that one we did sort out, and what we decided was instead of staying later, I can go on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And then I can stay later and roll a little bit if I want.
Yep.
And or I will. But so we started doing that. So today we're recording on Saturday. First thing in the morning, I got up, got my gi on, went to jiu-jitsu, got the crap beat out of me, and then came home.
Yep.
And now it's good.
And I went to work out, and
Yep.
So I was showing Miguel how to do jump squats with the watermelon in my bikini in the kitchen.
Hey, you had some pretty good form. You look good with your watermelon.
No, I have. Yeah, that's one. I've always had good form when I work out. Because I've been doing it for so long that I've always had. But being sore, it's hard to get that deep and that low when you're sore. And now that I'm feeling good, I'm still feeling sore because I'm adding more weight now, but my form is spot on, and that's what's most important to me.
Yeah,
it's not lifting the heaviest; it's making sure that my form is correct, so that when I start, lifting lifting heavier, that I'm not going to injure myself.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
And so most people when they're doing, when they're working out and they're feeling that burn and they're feeling, the pain, they start to lose their form and they start to swing the weights, and that is very
I've done
bad.
That. I've done that, like when you're like on bench press or on any exercise. But you know what? It's really apparent on bench press when you're doing a bench press and you're trying to do heavy weight. Like all of a sudden, like your back will turn to one side because that's the side you favor, and you start pushing more with that one side. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get hurt. Yeah.
Like when my arms are burning, I notice that I will use my triceps.
Yeah.
And my triceps they're really strong. I don't want to form those whatsoever. So I have to mentally connect to the muscle when I'm working out.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm not walking around looking like the Hulk.
Yeah. So what's up, babe? Why was this week a crazy week?
Oh, it was just very sad. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Like, oh my God, the two friends that we lost, and then our neighbor, losing someone very close to her and just being there for her, to help her through that and feeling, her pain and just kind of dealing with it all. And then just all the negativity, like it's almost like you feel it. And then I'm walking into these homes and feeling their grief and what they're going through. And that's why yesterday I just had to decompose and decompress. Thank you. Decompose, like I'm dying. I am. I felt like I was decomposing.
Like a mummy.
No, but no, that's why yesterday I made the decision that I'm not gonna work. I need this time to be with you guys. And my spirit muscle was like, you got to let it go.
Your spirit muscle?
My spirit muscle. Yes. No, I just had to not, I had to listen to myself, listen to my body, listen to my mind.
This is my spirit muscle.
Oh my God. So I decided not to work yesterday to, spend time with you guys and just to get my mind right.
Yeah. That's good. You need that every once in a while.
But no, it's been very tough. It's been an emotional roller coaster. You get on social media and see what's happening with others.
Social media
there's just a lot of loss. But you know what? Another thing that And this is something, there's a lot of babies being born.
Yay.
There's a lot of life.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of death. And it's the circle of life. It's just like I'm looking at everything, what's happening. I started reading the Bible again and trying to understand it all.
Through the Bible?
Yeah, spirituality, life, death, the circle of life, why people die, why, babies being born, and just.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough time. And social media doesn't help. Shit's a disaster.
Yep.
It's a mess.
It is. It's a mess. Oh, have you ever sat down with an older person?
Oh.
Like really someone who's up there and really talk to them about life?
I don't know.
Why is it that we are so easy to dismiss the elderly?
Yeah.
Think about that. When they're the ones.
They got all the experience.
They do.
Yep.
And a lot of times we dismiss them.
Yeah. It is crazy because people are going to look at us that way in the future.
And imagine like all the knowledge that we're gaining because of all the mistakes that we're going through and what we're learning. By the time we're up there, we're going to have a lot of knowledge. We're going to have a lot of wisdom.
And nobody's going to give a shit because they think that we don't know shit, right? Is that what, I mean?
Yeah. And it's the total opposite.
Yeah.
It's like we need to, I would love to go volunteer. I know right now is not the time, but in a group home for the elderly.
Yeah.
And just sit and talk. And because a lot of them they're not heard. People aren't interested in what they have to say.
Yeah.
And
you always have been.
That we can learn from them.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. When I sit down, so reverse mortgage, a lot of reverse mortgages are done.
Oh, we're going to talk about the exciting business of reverse mortgages on the podcast? Holy shit. Well, buckle up, people. We're talking about reverse mortgages.
But I enjoy doing a reverse mortgage because most of the time it's someone older that I'm in front of. And sometimes there are married couples that have been married forever, that are in love, and there's so much to learn from them, and I soak that up. Yeah. I absolutely love it. And I remember this specific appointment that I had with this gentleman. And so for most of his life, he was very angry. Like he was very angry. But he was also that person who would point fingers
and blame
Never
others.
Took responsibility. Yes. The reason why he got divorced 3 or 4 times, that was all, the woman's fault. It was always their fault.
Yeah.
Him not talking to his daughter, that's her fault. And he started sharing his life with me. And I'm listening to him. And now he's like, it took me 78 years to realize that I was the asshole, that I was the one who inflicted, pain and anger on other people, blaming other people.
He made his bed.
And today, I'm awake. I realized that it was me.
Yeah.
He said, I had so much apologizing to do. I called my ex-wives to ask for their forgiveness. One wouldn't respond. I sent her an email. I left her a message. That's all I could do.
Yeah.
I made my amends with my daughter. I am living my best life.
That's 78.
He's like, there has to be a heaven. There has to be life after death. There has to be, because I'm just starting. I'm just starting now to live the life that I was supposed to live. This man had me crying. I want to cry. Yeah. Like I'm getting emotional right now. And he lives in this big house. And he's like, I've been alone for so long. And no one's ever wanted, I've never had someone knocking on my door or calling me, wanting to talk to me or come visit me because I was the reason.
Yeah. Oh man, I've known some people like that.
And now that I've made my amends and now that I'm living a happy life, like I feel good, he became spiritual. He practices Buddhism actually.
Yeah.
And he just said there has to be another life after death. There has to be. He's like, this can't be it.
What do they believe in Buddhism happens? I wonder. I don't know. Because I know in Hinduism, they believe that you're reincarnated.
Yeah.
Into something else. But I don't know what Buddhism thinks, like what their belief is when you die.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Hey, if any of you guys out there know what it is and you guys want to call us and let us know, you can call us at 480-912-5128. Yep. 480-912-5128.
But listening to this man's story was just another knock. You know, like just another, okay, Sonja, you know, stay present, stay focused, and never allow your pride or ego to get in the way of being happy.
Yeah. So when you're saying like there has to be another life after this, because he realized that, you know, he just realized it at 78. And, you know, I'm kind of thinking like, well, what if there isn't? The thing is, you don't want to wait till 78 to get your shit together to fucking realize that you got some work to do. You know, we all got work to do. I got a shit ton of work to do. The more I think about it, I'm like, man, I gotta get to work.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important to live in the now. Yeah. To be present and to be aware of what makes you happy and what brings joy to your life. Because, you know, before I was chasing success, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. It was Miguel like at all costs.
Miguel was putting the kids to bed every night and, you know, just carrying it because here I was chasing success because I never wanted to be broke the way I was growing up. I was afraid of going backwards. Yeah. And I lost out on I feel like I lost out on some years, and realizing that it all came when I started to slow down. It all came when I started to feel uneasy. I started to get depressed, angry, and I had to figure out why was I feeling that way? Why am I feeling this disconnect? And I realized it was because I was chasing all the wrong things. That was for me. Like money has never made me happy. It's never made me happy.
Yeah.
You know? And I had to realize what was important to me. But in order for me to realize this, I had to slow down. Yeah, and I had to allow myself to feel the disappointment, to feel the anger, to feel the regret, because that's what woke me up.
Yeah.
Was allowing myself not to cover it up, because most of us like to cover up our hurt, our sadness, and fake the happiness, fake, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, in your case, it wasn't all that. It was just that you were like laser focused on the business and what you had to get done. I did.
Like,
I mean,
you
I was
always had my back. You never gave me, well, you started to give me shit.
Well, but
that's what
I
woke
give you
me
shit
up
when I can see that you're getting off balance. Because the thing is that when you are going balls or ovaries to the wall and it's just nonstop, I can see that this is only going to last for so long. Like when it's meeting, appointments, meeting on the weekend, meeting with the team on the weekend. And then I'm like, where have you been? You know, and I can tell that, all right, this is not going to end well. And the times that you've been able to sustain the success, like with Trust Inc. and everything, it's when you do have, because before you would go crazy and then it would be like, I can't do this anymore. And you would take off
because I would start to feel guilty.
An extended period of time, which is what you can't do in business.
No, yeah, it has to be.
So with Trust Inc., you've had more of that balance where you're going hard, and you're like, you start to realize it, or I'll say something and you're like, okay, all right, I'm taking this weekend off. Yeah. Nothing.
You haven't had to say anything.
I haven't really had to say much.
You haven't had to say anything.
But you kind of realize it yourself, and you're like, all right, this weekend I'm done. And the thing is, it's crazy. Like you were talking about, like you're passing up money, you're getting appointments, and they're like, hey, you want to stop by and make however much in 30 minutes? And it's like, well, no, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not doing it, because the thing is that you could make that $300 or whatever it may be, but then you're going to miss out on thousands of dollars because you're mentally going to be all fucked up for a while now.
Yeah.
So taking a little bit of time off, take a day off, and then regroup and get back to work.
And what I've been doing lately is because my workout, and that's another thing, like I know in order for me to feel whole, that working out has to be part of
your routine.
My routine. Yeah. Because I feel, and I looked it up, and why is it that I feel so good like after a workout or during a workout? And it's because of the endorphins that are released.
Yeah.
When you work out, and and not only that, but it's something that's always been a part of my life. And so once I put that back in place, I feel whole again.
Yeah.
I feel like me again. And so that's something that I have to incorporate in my daily routine. So if that's the case, then, I wake up earlier, I work out, 8:00. After that, I come back home and I spend that time with the kids, whether we're swimming, doing crafts, making jewelry, whatever it is. And then I start my day at 2:00 and it ends at 6.
Yeah.
So that I'm home for dinner, and I know some days, like the end of the month is always super crazy. Monday is going to be from
you already
the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. I already know that.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. That's a day I can do that, and not feel bad about it. And I talk to the kids about it.
And on days like that, when I know that you're going to have a crazy day, then I kind of plan on, picking up some of the slack, because you're going to be working and we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
One thing that I heard was like working out first thing in the morning, or like jujitsu first thing in the morning, like today. I mean, I think it's a great thing, because if you get choked first thing in the morning, the rest of your day cannot be that hard. Like if you get a good workout in the morning, it's all downhill for the rest of the day. Like you're not going to do anything as hard as what you already did first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that before. So that's a good routine to pick up.
Yeah. But having, recognizing what's important to you and what is going to bring you joy is super, super important. But if you're too busy, you're never going to get it. And that feeling of regret or distress or whatever it is always going to remain until you sit down and you think about why you're feeling the way you're feeling and take responsibility and take charge of your life.
Yeah.
And that's what the man did. He started to feel alone. Nobody was calling him. Nobody was ringing his doorbell. And he ended up having to look within. His last divorce, he started to look within. He started to look.
He started taking ownership of his life.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And so I hope that one day, that we all come to realize that we are not in charge, because we're never in charge. Things change. Life always happens. But for the most part, we are able.
A lot of times the reason that we're in the positions that we're in is because of decisions that we've made, and we've put ourselves in these positions. Obviously, things happen to everybody. But also the decisions that you make when things happen to you is what puts you in the positions that you're in.
Yeah.
When things that are bad are happening, if you curl up into a ball and start crying, it's just going to get worse. Actually, I was talking to one of the guys today, and coach, our coach, he's a big dude. I mean, ultra heavyweight. And he was training with a brand new a kid. I think he might be like 14, but he's bigger than me, or he's about my size.
Yeah.
And he made a move where he turned away from coach.
So he gave him his back?
Pretty much. And coach took his back. And he's like, with his accent.
I love his accent.
He told him, just like in life, when you have a big, scary problem, you can't run away from it. You have to turn around and face it. And in jiu-jitsu, if somebody starts to take your back, you want to turn towards them. Because once they take your back, you're going to be in a worse position. And
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But it's okay.
But that's
cry.
How you learn. That's how.
But it's okay. No. Like you said, you don't want to curl up in a ball and cry. No, you want to. Like, that's the thing. Like with our kids.
That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. Though. It's not. I'm not saying that it's not okay to cry. What I'm saying is that
you just don't want to ball up and give up.
When there's times that you cannot like just give up. Like now is the time to fight because you're going to get yourself in a worse position if you don't. There's times to fight.
Yeah. And this is kind of going into a different subject, but with our children.
Yeah.
Growing up, not so much with me, but with my older sister, it was not okay to cry. It was not okay to show feelings. Shut up, do what you got to do kind of deal, right? And I remember at the beginning, you were like that parent too. You were that person like, stop crying. Like you would, tell Joey or Audrey, stop crying.
Okay.
At the very beginning,
Yeah.
And I would cringe at times when I would see you do that. And you no longer do it.
I think what it was is, I don't know if I was disciplining them and then they would start crying and I would tell them to stop crying because like once they start crying, it's like it's over. They're not listening to anything that you're saying. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So acknowledge, or get them to realize, why are they crying?
Yeah.
But listening to them and allowing them to feel what they're feeling. Way back in the day when, we were children or anyways,
way back in the day when we were children.
Way back in the day. It just was not okay.
That's why I tag our videos with marriage advice from old couples.
Your parents. Think about that.
Yeah.
It wasn't okay to question your parents. When you tell your kids to do something, you don't ask why, or you know what I'm saying? You just do it because I said to do it.
Yeah.
And now we're realizing that we have, in order for these children to feel like they're part of the family, I guess, I don't know, is to listen to what they have to say. Yeah. Give them a reason. Like Joey, if you explain to Joey why he needs to do something or why something is the way it is, he is way more open to help you. Like when I told Joey, baby, can you do me a favor? Can you help me? Oh, sure, Mom. What is it? Baby, can you take out the garbage in the trash can in my office? Yeah. Sure, Mom. He is way more excited about helping versus saying, Joey, take out the trash.
Yeah. Well, with Joey, actually, speaking about Joey, there was kids go through phases. And Joey's going through this phase where everything is a question. Everything. Yes. And it is just nonstop question after question after question after question. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I don't want to tell him not to ask questions. That is that's the last thing that I want to tell him is not to ask questions. But at the same time, I had to talk to him the other day. Like, dude, when we tell you to do something, don't or if we ask you something, don't answer our question with a question.
Right. Yes.
You need to do or answer the question that we're asking.
Right.
And then you can ask a question.
Right.
But answer me first, or do whatever I told you to do first, and then you can come and talk to me like, hey, what happens to the trash? Where does the trash go? Or this and that. Yeah. Because I'm telling you to take out the trash, and then you're asking all these questions, and then I'm still waiting. Like, go do it, and then come back and we'll talk.
So acknowledging their feelings, yes. That's what I was going to get to. Instead of just telling them, hey, stop crying or whatever. It's very important for us to acknowledge their emotions.
Yeah. One thing that Joe Rogan, I'm always talking about Joe Rogan, but I mean,
because that's who you listen to.
Well, not only that, but I think he has a lot of great things, and he makes a lot of points that make sense. Like he talks about his kids, and he'll tell them straight up, like when his kids do things or when they make a mistake, like he'll talk to them about like the way he sees it is that they're just little people that don't have as much experience. They're not where you're at. They're not as old as you are. They're just little people that have less experience. So when they make a mistake, he tells them, I get it. I did the same exact thing that you did when you were a kid. Now, what's different that he does, because a lot of parents might say that. I've done the same thing. I've made the same mistakes. I've been where you are. Mm-hmm. He will give them specific examples. Like if his kid lies to him, he'll tell his kid, like, I understand. I get it. I lied to my parents. I used to lie to my mom. I used to lie to my dad. And I used to do that because I thought this was going to happen. And this is what actually happened. You know, I get it. It's okay. Like he shares his mistakes with his kids so that they feel like, oh shit, like okay, dad's messed up, you know?
Right.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's totally different from how we were raised.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we have to undo.
Oh, there's a lot of undoing.
Oh, shitload.
I'm talking about undoing. Everything.
No, yeah.
Finances, parenting, everything.
And that's okay. We're not saying, okay, our parents are going to be like, what the heck?
No.
We're not saying we were raised wrong.
No, not at all.
It's just there are some things that we are.
You learn with time. And then as we get older, we might end up.
Our kids are going to have to, there's going to be some things that they're going to have to, change.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, dude, our parents were fucked up.
Okay, so
we're gonna have to listen to their podcast when they get older.
Do you remember? Okay, and this is when the kids were probably 2 and 4.
Okay.
When we would put them in timeout, do you remember what we would do?
What?
We would put them in the laundry room. There's a corner there in the laundry room, and we would have them put their hands up. Do you remember they hated it?
Yeah.
They hated
No, they would just face the corner, stand in the corner with their hands up.
Yeah. But they so hated it.
Kind of like you're being arrested. Yeah.
We were starting them off young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so you mentioned our anniversary, and I wanted to mention a little beef that you're having with one of my oldest friends. My friend Juan.
I have no beef with Juan.
With Juan. No, I'm just kidding.
Juan doesn't know me.
No, you met Juan in New York, and no, he's one of my actually, I was telling you, I was like, he is my oldest friend in life. Like, I met him when I was like 5.
Yeah.
So we've been friends for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And no, it's all good. He thought,
I put a post up. Oh, did you talk to him afterwards?
No, I haven't talked to him, but he'll listen to the podcast. But no, he's a great dude. I mean, we've been friends forever. Yeah. And no, Sonia is just joking around. But if any of you guys are out in the New Jersey area, look up Jay's Empanadas. He's got a great restaurant, and he makes some really good food. If you haven't had an empanada, I'm guessing if you're in the New Jersey, New York area, you've definitely had empanadas. But yeah, give it a shot, Jay's Empanadas.
So I had put a post up, and I put something like,
what was it? It was
life's been wacky, and I totally forgot about our 12th wedding anniversary. Walked in, found some beautiful flowers, and so everybody's commenting happy anniversary, and he commented something like happy anniversary, can't wait to hear about this on the podcast. And I put a message, and I'm like, hey, why are you trying to start stuff?
And I think he might have taken it as like you were actually asking
but
him.
I put LOL.
Yeah.
But the reason why I said that, because if he says he listens to the podcast, the one previously, like, we were at it. Yeah, we were arguing. Yeah. So I'm like, why are you trying to start stuff?
No, it's all good.
But yeah.
But no, I can't wait to see him again next time that we're
in Joey, the New York area. When we went to go visit him, Joey broke something?
No, he was there. We were at my other friend Robert's house, and Joey broke his vase. After not seeing my friends for like 10 years, they come and our kids go and destroy stuff. But yeah, that was cool.
I was listening to
R&B
The
music.
Presence of Now. I love me some R&B.
Dude, you love fucking up his books, don't you?
Hold on. Babe, stop.
The power of now.
The power of now. And he talks about how we fight, how it's frowned upon. And this is again with the whole aging stuff, you know?
Uh-huh. What's frowned upon?
Everything. We do everything in our power to fight the aging process.
Oh, okay.
Botox, fillers, you know, just all of it. It's frowned upon to look old, right? Yeah. Especially in women, like for women, you know, we're the ones with you men, you guys age like fine wine, you know, women, everything that can will sag. Oh no, that was funny. And so, but he was talking about
start going,
shut up, and your balls.
Yeah, that too.
And so he's talking about that we should celebrate it.
Yeah.
Like really celebrate it because, you know, the years that, I mean, think about what we're going through right now, this pandemic.
It is crazy because when somebody's been doing anything for a long time, you look at somebody that's been doing jiu-jitsu for 25 years, you're like, wow, somebody that's been working at a company for 20, 30 years, you're like, man, that's pretty cool. But life is not, it's like, oh, they're old.
But he talks about accepting it, like just accepting it and being okay with it.
Yeah.
And he said the people that age and are fighting it, like they're just totally against it, are the ones that it hits hard.
Yeah.
Because I see it. Like when I go, especially the reverse mortgages, I have to be very patient because it's hard for them to pick up the pen and sign. And we're signing 200 plus pages.
Yeah.
And witnessing this makes me appreciate every little movement that I can do from those freaking jump squats with the damn watermelon. You know, simply picking up a pen.
Yeah.
Going to the bathroom, walking down the stairs. Like the little things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
But he said a lot of times when it hits. And, you know, you will come across some individuals that are up there in age that are just angry. Have you ever seen an angry old person?
Yeah. No, it's not cool. It's it's sad.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Just, you know, I made a decision that my goal is to be a happy old lady.
To age gracefully.
Just to be a happy old lady.
To age gracefully. That's what it is.
Accept it. Own it.
Yeah. You know, I was just listening to A New Earth, and they were talking about the ego. Like they're both books by Eckhart Tolle. The one that you're listening to, The Power of Now and A New Earth. And they were talking about the ego and like the whole aging thing. I think it's more because of you're thinking about how people are seeing you. Like you're thinking about how they're seeing your wrinkles, how they're seeing your, you know, gray hair, how they're seeing your whatever, you know, but it's like, who gives a shit really? You know, it's just your ego is worried about what everybody else thinks of you. Right. When in reality, it's like, who cares? And the truth is that like you're thinking this, but a lot of times people aren't thinking that at all. It's just like, whatever. Right. Like you're not on the top, on the front of every single person's mind.
It's the conversation you're having with yourself that is driving you.
Yeah.
To be unhappy.
Yep.
The conversations you have with yourself, you have to check them. You really do. You have to check them because you will create your hell or your heaven in your head. And you've heard me say that before.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, the stress that's in your life is a lot of it. Yeah, it's happening, but you make it even bigger the way you think about it or the situation. You make it bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yep.
So it's almost like having a fight within, you know, like being able to catch a negative thought And sometimes it's hard. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to, because it does it overtakes, like, you know, one of my triggers, you know, having that doubt. I don't even know if I want to talk about that, but yeah, you know what I was getting to, right?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just being able to, just be more aware of what you're telling yourself and the thoughts that are going through your head.
So those books, The Power of Now and what was the other one? A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. If you guys want to pick up those books, you guys can pick them up on Amazon. You guys can go to oppositesattractpodcast.com and you'll see the support the show tab at the top of the website. And if you click on that, it'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through Amazon doesn't cost you anything more, but it helps out the show. We'll get a little cut from whatever you purchase. But like I said, it doesn't cost you anything more. So if you do it through there, that helps. You'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency. We do a lot of work for law firms, as well as title companies. So if you are needing a document notarized, hit us up.
Yep. And we're also affiliates with Libsyn. And Libsyn is who we host our podcast with. If any of you have thought about starting a podcast, there's over 1 million podcasts ever since this quarantine. There's been more and more podcasts started. But if that's something that you guys have thought about and you want to give it a shot, Libsyn hosts some of the biggest podcasts in the world. And if you want to try it for the rest of whatever month you sign up in, you'll get the rest of that month for free. And you'll get the next month for free if you use the promo code OAP for Opposites Attract Podcast. Libsyn,
Yay!
Libsyn. So, no, real quick, I was going to say that, so the last couple weeks, I went back to an old position that I had. I was working on the helicopters, and now I'm back to, my new assignment. But, man, one thing, so a few podcasts ago, I was talking about how I was going to start getting up earlier and working on this book. And then as soon as I decided that I was going to do that, I get a call to go back to work. So now I'm not able to wake up as early as I could because now I have to wake up even earlier for work. Mm-hmm. I had talked about it before. But, one thing that you talk about sometimes, like how I'm so disciplined about things. And discipline really is when you're doing things that you don't want to do. When you don't feel like discipline is not doing things when you feel like doing them. Because that doesn't really matter. Obviously, You feel like doing it, you're doing it.
Right.
When you don't feel like doing it, that's when discipline kicks in and you do it. And it's weird how, like before, I was working from home and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up an hour early. So I'm going to start getting up at 5 and working on this. But waking up at 5 is something that I'm doing for myself.
Right.
Because I'm working on our book for our podcast. So that's for me. That's not for anybody else. Now, work calls, and they're like, hey, you need to be at work at 5. Mm. That means that now I can't even get up at 5. I have to get up at 4. But if I have to work for myself, getting up at 4 is probably not going to happen.
Isn't that nuts?
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like, I'll wake up at 4 for my job, but I won't do it for myself.
Right.
That's not fucking discipline.
Dude, we talk about that in Legal Shield.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the employee. I think it's laziness, but part of it is also the employee mentality that like a lot of us need somebody to tell us what to do.
Right.
And because I was kind of thinking, I start work at 6 now and it'd be nice to get in shape and work out again. I was like, well, I don't have time. Really? Do I really not have time? Because I used to get up at 4 and go for a run before I would go to work. So I could get up. You know what? I could wake up and work out and work on my book before work. Like that can happen.
But you are working out at jiu-jitsu, right?
I am. But I'm just saying to get in better shape.
Yeah.
Because, obviously we've let some things slide. So.
See how he throws that in?
Well, I have for sure. I have for sure. But you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah, I get it.
Like I'll do it, for my work, but not for myself, which is not right.
Yeah.
Which is not cool.
And that's,
so we preach a lot of, like I've said before, nobody's perfect. Like we know the things that we need to do and we don't do them all the time.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
Yep.
So, but I'm gonna work on it, and I've set my alarm, and hopefully I don't change it. No, you know what? Monday morning, fuck it. I'll put up a post. 4 a.m. up working out. It's too fucking late now. I already said it on the fucking podcast, so it is what it is. But anyway, I showed you this video before, and I talked to you about it earlier in the week. If you guys haven't seen it out there, there's this little boy. His name is Bridger Walker. Mm-hmm. Man, like this is one of those things that it's like you see this little kid, and like I watched the video, and I'm getting like emotional listening to what's happening. And the little kid is 6 years old, and they were at somebody's house. If you guys haven't heard of it, look it up on YouTube. He's 6 years old. He's at somebody's house, and they have a rescue German Shepherd. And I don't know if, they're just kids, and kids are doing their own thing. But the dog was going over to his sister, like in an aggressive way or something like that. And he got in between the dog and his sister. His sister was 4, so 2 years younger than him. And he ended up getting attacked by the dog. And he ended up needing 90 stitches in his face. And what he said, I don't know if it was after. I'm guessing it was after the whole thing happened. He said that if somebody had to die, I would rather it be me than my sister. Aww. He is 6.
That's amazing.
He is 6.
That's amazing.
And one of the coolest things is that there's a lot of... so when they were interviewing him or doing something, obviously he's a 6-year-old boy, and he loves superheroes. So all these superheroes are coming out and sending him messages because he's got stitches all over his face, and he's a cute little kid.
Yeah.
And like the Avengers, the actors from the Avengers, Captain America, and Thor, and they're like, hey, we want you to be an Avenger with us. Like, we'd be honored if you were part of our team. So I thought that was really cool. He was wearing a Spider-Man thing. Spider-Man reached out to him, so that was really cool. And he practices jiu-jitsu.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even, when I watched it, I didn't even, how did you?
It came out in Jiu-Jitsu Times because it's a big story, and that's something that people don't know.
Oh.
The little boy practices jiu-jitsu.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Really cool. Bridger Walker. Insane. Yeah, it does. It's sad, but man, it's nice. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we
definitely need more positive news. If you all took a stand, those of you that listen or watch our podcast, and make it a goal to change your social media.
Yeah.
To something positive. Something positive. We can all do good. We can all do a little something.
Yeah.
Instead of giving more light to the negative news that you see. If you know someone who beat or, COVID, who has fought it, put that story up instead. So, if you know... Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, what I was going to say is Joe Rogan talked about this with one of his friends. Like, he made a Facebook account, or it was either Facebook or YouTube or one of them. But he started looking up certain videos. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of people think that you're being targeted for certain things, right? Like, oh, they keep showing us this shit.
Right.
Right? But really what he said was it's an algorithm. They're going to show you what you want to see. Mm-hmm. So he went on there, made a fresh account, and looked up nothing but kittens and puppies, and his fucking feed was incredible. Nothing but fucking cats doing cute shit, dogs doing cute shit, and he got more of it. Every time the next video, it suggested, do you want to see more kittens fucking playing with a ball of yarn? And it's like, sure, I'll check that out. And then guess what suggested to him afterwards? Kittens playing in a box and fucking puppies fucking doing whatever, That's all he got.
If you're sick of seeing negative posts on Facebook, change your story to positive quotes.
Positive something.
Yes.
Unfollow people that you don't want to see their shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know if maybe that'll
quick.
That'll help.
I will be so quick. If there's a negative feed, like you look on mine, my feed.
Your shit like flowers.
My people, no. Positive quotes.
Birds chirping.
Every once in a while, but I pay no mind. And if it's something that's really negative, I am so unfollowing because I don't want to have to process that.
Yeah, no.
Because everything you guys see, everything you read, everything you watch, you have to process that.
Whether you think you are or you're not, it's there. It's getting sorted in your brain.
Yep. Once you see it, it can't be unseen.
Yeah. Speaking of seeing stuff, the other day, I think it was last weekend. I hope that you guys can still see this. But man, we have this little bullshit telescope in our backyard that we got for Audrey. And this is something that you guys can do. Like our kids, man, they have more shit than we've ever had combined in our life. Like either one of them, like the fucking toys that they have and all this shit, they just have so much. And one time we were, well, especially me, like I was getting tired of dolls, like more dolls. What do you want? Another Barbie. What do you want? Another doll.
I want her to play with the doll today.
No, I know. But but at a certain point, it's like, let's get something else.
Yeah.
And Audrey had a birthday. This was years ago. And she had a birthday or she had something. And I told her, I was like, hey, instead of buying another Barbie or another princess, that's what it was. It was princesses non-fucking stop. Mm-hmm. And I said, instead of buying a princess, if you spend your money on this, I'll help you buy the rest. And that was a telescope. Okay. So, and I told her the pink one costs more money for some reason.
Because it's pink.
Because it's pink. And I told her, if you want the pink one, I'll put the money in to get you the pink one. So we bought this little bullshit telescope for $70 on Amazon, which is actually cheaper than that because the only reason it's 70 is because it's pink. The regular one was 50. Mm-hmm. So with a $50 telescope, we've seen Saturn,
Jupiter,
Venus. We've seen like one of the brightest stars called Vega.
Yes.
And we downloaded the Google Maps app so that you can just kind of point your phone in the sky and it'll tell you what things are. But man, that shit is mind-blowing.
It is.
It is fucking mind-blowing. Like when you look through and you're looking at this telescope and you know that all it is glass and mirrors and plastic. Like there is no electronic technology. Like you're just looking at what's out there. Mm-hmm. And to see Saturn and see its rings, or to see Jupiter and see its moons, to see the phases of Venus, because we saw like Venus is kind of like the moon where it has different phases. Like we saw the different phases of Venus is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It is really cool. So I don't know if
mind blown.
I don't know if that if like this was last weekend. If you guys order a telescope through our Amazon link, I don't know if you guys will get it in time to still be able to check it out. But there's supposed to be something happening with a comet. Like you're supposed to be able to see a comet at night. I don't know. I got to look into it. But you guys check it out. See if it's still something that we can see. Because I think that was something that only happens like every 8,000 years. Yeah. So if you can't see it, guess what? You missed it. And so did we.
Sucks.
But no, man, that is one of the coolest things to check out.
So we are going camping.
We are.
As
a family for the first time.
First time. So you guys, please keep us in your prayers.
Are we going camping before the next podcast? I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's on the 7th.
Okay, so we probably have another one. We got another one. If
we
you guys have
it earlier.
If you guys have any, if you guys enjoy this podcast and don't want us to die on our camping trip, and you guys have some tips for camping, make sure that you guys send us a message. You guys can give us a call. You can go through our social media at Opposite Pod.
I'm looking up camping for beginners.
We got fucking city people going camping. We're not gonna know what the hell to do.
Yep. You're from New York. That scares me.
But hey, where do I plug in this extension cord?
I've been camping a few times before, but it's been a long time.
Camping. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Our kids are Audrey's like freaked out about an encounter with the bear.
Boot camp was kind of like camping. Even though in the Air Force we had AC in our tents and shit.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, did you?
We had outlets.
Well, no, we're doing it, you guys. Like, we bought a tent. Yes. Yeah. Blow up mattresses. No, it's going to be fun.
And we were thinking about recording a podcast if we can out there. So we're going to...
That'd be kind of nuts.
But it'd be cool if we can set it up and do it. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm there to vacation.
We only need an hour. And it'd be cool.
But then we have to take all the equipment.
I don't know. We'll think about it. And if it happens, it happens.
Maybe we could get a bear alive. No.
Shit. That's the last thing I want to see camping. But anyway, I think we're coming to the end of the episode. Well, thank you guys for being with us. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. You can also go to trustinckusa.com if you need any notaries. You can follow us everywhere at Opposites Attract Podcast. If you search that on any of your social media, will come up and you'll see our logo. Or if you just want to search our name directly, it's Opposite Pod. But yeah, thank you to all our new listeners. Thank you to anybody that's listening around the world, around the country. We definitely appreciate it.
Appreciate your support. Appreciate your love. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.